morning, everyone. I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me today. It is January 4th, 2024. Looks like it's trying to snow again there at Yellowstone. Yep, Yellowstone is a rockin' and a rollin'. Still continuing down there by Heart Lake. Not good. A lot of earthquakes are not reporting. According to USGS, there has been 61 earthquakes within this location in the last week. 4 of them over a magnitude 2.5. More than likely in the upper magma chamber. Yeah, they're shallow. 6.2 miles in depth, 5.3 miles in depth, 5.5 miles in depth, and a 6.2 miles in depth. In the last 24 hours, there's been 13 earthquakes. Look like the depth has been relatively the same. Here's a location of some of the larger ones. We got the 3.3, which happened on January 1st. I did a video about that. You can go back and look at it. And then we got another 3.3 that occurred today. And a 3.1. That one occurred also on the 1st. What makes it so significant, let me close this, is the fact that when Yellowstone had its last major eruption, it did a counterclockwise rotation starting up in the Madison River area, and it unzipped multiple eruptions coming from the Madison River area and then going down by here and then over here. That's when the 2 resurgent domes collapsed at the same time. This is the most recent large earthquake that I'm showing you. They're saying it's a 3.3, but it was not. I got 4 different monitors. Mary Lake, the borehole for Yellowstone Lake, Holmes Hill, and Maple Creek. Let me make the borehole bigger. Okay, and this actually comes in as a magnitude 3.48. Yep, 3.48. I'll bring it down so those of you that have larger screens can see it there at the bottom. It says MD 3.48. They don't even mention how several years ago, one of their in-house geologists said when they started having earthquakes of a magnitude 2 or greater, yeah, they would be very concerned. And this is probably one of the reasons they downgrade them. They don't want people to panic. Well, you don't panic, you get prepared. If Yellowstone did have another major eruption, yeah, it would devastate the entire world for years and years and years. One, because the power lines would arc with the ash lying upon the different power lines. They would blow up, and it takes about 18 months to make one new power station transformer. 18 months. So you're probably looking at 10 years of no power. And they say that within the first year, 80 to 90% of the world's population would be dead because of the lack of power. Now, if you had an alternative power source, you might be better off than other people. But you would have problems with sewage backing up into your homes, problem of no fresh water coming into your homes, no communication between factories and the trucking industry because the internet would be down, phone lines would be down, so they couldn't communicate to where different goods, food, medical supplies would need to be shipped. Dispatchers would not be able to communicate with emergency services, so there would be no police, no ambulances. Hospitals wouldn't be working. Yeah, they got backup generators, but how long do you really think those backup generators would last? Especially if they don't have fuel or can't get fuel and can't pump the fuel from the underground storage systems and can't deliver new fuel to different gas stations. Are you prepared for such dire situation? The last earthquake they are reporting is somewhere right in here. They're saying it's magnitude 1.9. This one here, it says actually 1436. What's this one next to it? Let me see here. 1437, so somewhere in there. Anyways, you can see all these earthquakes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to count the larger ones. There is littler ones. Yeah, and we got slow-moving tremors here. So it would be, let's see, right in there that they have reported the last earthquakes, but you can see there's many of them afterwards. I'm not going to try and count them all. Yeah. The borehole, for some reason, stopped working, but here we have it at Mary Lake, Holmes Hill, and Maple Creek. It actually comes in as a magnitude 2.30 right there. That's the last one they're reporting. You can see we got another one right here, another one right there, another one there, another one there, and we got a little one. That's up until the time that I downloaded the data, which would have been at 15:03 Universal Time, which would have been about 8:03 a.m. there at the park. Now this 3.3, which actually was larger, was yesterday at about 5:10 p.m. local time. USGS gave it an intensity level, what people that did report said it felt like, which would have been maybe a 2.5. Felt noticeably indoors, but not always recognized as an earthquake. Standing autos rock slightly, vibration like a passing truck. They come up with the intensity level by sent in reports. So here you can see Yellowstone Lake. This is close to the Mallard Lake Resurgent Dome probably. And they got 6 responses from this location northwest of Shoshone Lake. Okay, and then down over here is Lewis Lake. Remember, this is where, when it did its last major eruption, it started up over here with small eruptions, what they call an unzipping, which did a counterclockwise rotation, came all the way down here towards Heart Lake, and then the 2 resurgent domes collapsed. There has been 40 smaller eruptions since the last major eruptions, that many of them they only recently discovered. Example, we got Peachstone Plateau. Now that area, the magma is probably about 100 feet thick, and that occurred about 70,000 years ago. So going back to Google Earth, here's the Mallard Lake Resurgent Dome. Over here is Old Faithful, where we have the live web camera. And then north of this is where all these recent earthquakes have been occurring. So down over here is the Mallard Lake Dome. Up over here is the Sour Creek Dome. And it's almost in a straight line, a little bit north of where they do have uplift. Let me show you a map of where the uplift is happening. Now this image is from 2022. Okay, and so you can see the different little lakes here. This is Yellowstone Lake, and this is the area where they have the most uplift. Let me zoom in a little bit farther. Michael Pollan did an article stating that earthquakes there at Yellowstone are down compared to years in past. Well, kind of like New York City. If you don't count the crime, if you don't count the earthquakes, yeah, then you'll say that earthquakes are down. They're saying the same thing for New York City. If they don't make arrests, if they don't acknowledge that the earthquakes happen, yeah, they'll say that earthquake numbers are much lower, just like crime. There's definitely a lot more earthquakes within the last 24 hours than just they got it up to 20. A lot more than 20. This one here at 1433, they're not reporting. It's fairly significant. That one comes in as a magnitude 2.6. We got another one here at 1431. That one comes in as a 2.53. We got another little one right here. Now this is all universal time. So that would be about 7:30 a.m. there at the park. That one comes in as a magnitude 2.26. Then we got another very small one here, probably. Just a little thing. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'll put it there. 1.71. And then another little one. We'll really shorten that one up. Comes in as a 1.41. And then we got another small one right here. Let's see, probably, I'll make that very short, 1.64. And then a little tiny one. That would be 1.28. This one right here is a volcanic tremor. Magma on the move, rising up. We got a mix of the ground popping because of the pressure of the magma rising up, pushing on the ground. And then this one here, that's going to go small on me. Let me make that bigger. Okay. Yeah, that's also plate movement, fault movement for that one. Let's see. Yeah, a mixture between volcanic and plate movement, the fault moving. And we'll make that one bigger. Yeah, that's plate movement, fault movement. It keeps going smaller. Again, plate movement. And fault movement. Okay, and then we got a little teeny tiny one that came in just, that's volcanic tremor. Yeah, the magma rising up. So it's currently 9:50 a.m. there at the park. It's a little foggy. Yeah, we got some people that probably came in on snow coaches or snowmobiles. Been a little bit busier. Yeah, be prepared. Be prepared. So what are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. As always, if you're prepared, you got a better chance of surviving than other people. If you don't want to survive, well, that's up to you. Think of your family members. Those of us in the prepper community, yeah, we prepare for our family that does not prepare. My family would come first in a situation where there's no food and water and medical supplies. Yeah, just like Noah when he built his ark. I am sure he had a lot of family members that lived in the same town. You know, aunts, uncles, grandfathers, great-grandfathers, because they used to live for a long time. But he only took into the ark his immediate family, and he shut the door. He shut the door. He did not open it up for other people who scoffed at him for preparing, listening to the word of God. And I'm sure he heard them yelling and screaming and pounding on the outside of the ark when they closed the door. So what are your thoughts? Always be prepared. Please stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.